This is the COMA Girl Daily Podcast, written by Stephanie Bond. December 8th, Thursday. The door to the ward opened, and a tall, slender blonde walked in. I don't recognize the face, but I do recognize the clackety-clack of the high heels. Hello, Marigold. I'm ADA Spence. We haven't met, but I'm handling your case. So she assumes I can't remember our previous encounters. Fair enough. She pulled a chair closer to my bed and sat heavily, resting her briefcase on her lap. What a difference a few days makes. First, let me say how glad I am you're awake. And I understand you can respond to questions by blinking twice for yes, once for no. I blinked twice. Good. She opened her briefcase and took out a thick file folder. Are you aware of the circumstances surrounding your accident? I blinked twice. That Memorial Day weekend, your tan Ford Escort collided with a yellow Jaguar F-Type coupe driven by a man named Keith Young. I blinked twice. And that Keith Young plays for the Atlanta Thrashers professional hockey team? I blinked once. She nodded, satisfied she hadn't tripped me up. I meant to say the Atlanta Falcons professional football team. I blinked twice. And the only occupants of your vehicle at the time of the accident were you and your sister, Sydney? I blinked twice. You're aware your sister changed her story from the original accident report to say she was driving your car when the accident occurred? I blinked twice. And you confirm Sydney was driving? I blinked twice. Okay. Just so you know, your sister reported smelling alcohol on Keith Young at the scene. His blood alcohol level originally came back just above the legal limit, but when it was retested, it came back at the legal limit. I blinked twice. Last month, I convinced Keith Young's attorneys you were going to testify and you would be a sympathetic witness. I was trying to get him to plead to a lesser charge so you would have a chance to get a civil judgment. I blinked twice. But since your sister, who now admits to driving the night of the accident, was arrested last week for possession and intent to distribute amphetamines, our case has been gutted. I'm here to tell you the DA's office is dropping all charges against Keith Young. I blinked twice. It's only fair. But we're prepared to prosecute Sydney for conspiring with David Spooner to embezzle from the foundation that was set up to pay your medical bills. I blink once. No? I think Sydney used money from your foundation to fund her drug business and her own addiction. And if we lean on her hard enough, maybe she'll give up Spooner's whereabouts and some of the money can be recovered. Again, I blinked once. Her phone rang. She glanced at it, then closed her eyes briefly. Excuse me, just a moment. She punched a button and held the phone to her ear. Hi, Dad. I'm in a meeting. What's up? She listened for a few seconds, then sighed. I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me. Yes, the office is closed Christmas Eve and Christmas. But I have to be in court the morning of the 26th, and I'll need to prepare. Right. Maybe I can come up for New Year's. I'll check my schedule and let you know. I promise. Okay. Bye. She ended the call, then heaved another sigh. Where was I? Oh, the embezzling. You should know I don't need your permission to bring charges against your sister, but it would help if you testify against her. I blink once. She tapped her finger on the file folder. So,
there's no animosity between you and Sydney.
Is she trying to trip me up again? Does she have in the file a copy of the lost manuscript I'd written? If so, she has everything she needs to prove there was discord between us sisters.
Marigold, is there animosity between you and Sydney?
Defiant, I blink once. Slowly, ADA Spence returned the file to her briefcase and unfolded from the chair.
We'll chat again when you can actually talk, Marigold. Meanwhile, I certainly hope your sister deserves your support.
When the door closed, my stomach was churning. I can't help but think about Audrey Parks, my former ward mate who had awoken from her coma, but had found her return to life so unbearable she had attempted to hang herself in the coma ward. If my parents hadn't bumbled along, she'd be good and dead right now, instead of recovering in the psych ward. I'm starting to understand what she meant. Returning to the world meant returning to hard choices. Audrey had a valid point in asserting there was something comforting about simply keeping one's eyes closed.
Hello, this is Stephanie again. Just wanting to say I hope you're enjoying the story. If you'd like to check out other serials I've written, check the show notes for links. But come back tomorrow for more COMA Girl.